Hello, Booktube, and you join me on a very wet, windy, miserable, cold day. We're back to old Blighty, we are. To be fair, we have had a good spell of weather in the UK over the last few months, but now it's gone back to what we all know UK weather is like. It is horrendous, especially at 5 o'clock in the morning when I get up to go for a run, do all that madness. It's pretty dire then. So, the Baillie Gifford long list has been announced today. I've not looked at the books yet, so you're going to get my reaction to them straight away. If you don't know what the Baillie Gifford is, it's a non-fiction book prize in the UK for books that have been published in the UK from October to October, I think, or September to September. It's one of them. I can't remember off the top of my head. Now, for the past 2 years, I've actually read the whole of the long list. So I'm going to do it this year too. I know I threatened to read the Booker long list last month, but I just couldn't do it, man. I was overworked, so I needed stuff that I actually enjoy. So I picked some non-fiction. Actually, I mean, I'm going to read some of the Booker because I've got the books, so I'm going to read some of it. So with the Baillie Gifford, yeah, I've done the last two long lists, and I've also read every single winner since '99 when it started. I've also read other books that have appeared on long lists and the short lists and whatnot. So I really, really, really enjoy the Baillie Gifford. There's a wide variety of subject matter from the Baillie Gifford. But last year's, to be fair, there was a strong World War II theme coming out. So let's see if there's any strong theming coming out on the Baillie Gifford this year. I'll put the picture of the books, what I'm talking about, here somewhere. So you don't have to look at my weathered face. And you might see me look down now and again because my dog has been very impatient. It's because it's raining, I've not took him out, so he's pacing. So let's have a look. I think the judges this year has long listed 12 books. Yes, they have. And let's go. Okie dokie. Okay, the first one is The Finest Hotel in Kabul, A People's History of Afghanistan. So this is by, I might get the pronunciations wrong of some of the authors, so you have to bear with me. I believe this is Lacey Dorset. So this is looking like it's the history of the Continental Hotel in Afghanistan throughout the years. It looks like, this seems interesting. Oh, by the way, I rank them, not rank them, I'll say if I'm interested or it's a meh or I'm not interested in the subject. And then when I've read them, I'll say, okay, yeah, I was probably wrong. My snobbishness has come out. So yeah, this is second paragraph. I won't read the whole transcript to you. I'll just read a bit of it so you can get the flavour. So the second paragraph begins, now she weaves together, the author, the experiences of Afghans who have kept the hotel running to craft a richly immersive history of their country. It is the story of Hazarat, here we go, this is a tongue-tied for me, Septuagarian. I've no idea what that means. Septuagarian, Septuagarian, I've no idea. Housekeeper who holds fast to his intercontinental training from the hotel's 1970s glory days. So yeah, it's looking at the people who worked at this Continental and how it survived all the years from the 70s. So, the Soviet evacuation, a civil war, the US invasion, and the rise of the Taliban. So it's actually, that's up my street. That sounds like really, really cool read, that, So that's the first one. That's The Finest Hotel in Kabul. It's got a thumbs up from me so far. So book two. Okay, this is Francis Wilson. This is Electric Spark, The Enigma of Muriel Spark. That name rings a bell. Was she an author? I think it's a biography of Muriel Spark. I believe she was an author. Uh, so the world's most commonly used way to describe Muriel Spark is puzzling. Spark was a puzzle, and as to her books, she dealt in word games, tricks, and ciphers. Her life was composed of weird accidents, strange coincidences, and spooky events. Following the clues, riddles, and instructions, Spark planted for prosperity, biographies, fiction, autobiography, and archives. So she was a writer. So she looks like she's a bit of an enigma, a bit of a strange woman, and this is a biography of her. We return to her early years when everything was piled on: divorce, madness, murder, espionage, poverty, skullduggery, blackmail, love affairs, revenge, and a major religious conversion. What? I'm pulled in right now. I wish my early years were packed full of, madness and murder and espionage and skullduggery. So this is if this sounds like a novel by Muriel Spark, it's because the experiences of the 40s and the 50s became alchemically reduced the material of her art. So that sounds right up my street again. So second thumbs up. So it's a biography of Muriel Spark, who was a bit of an enigma, and she had a very, very ball of fire kind of a life, it seems. So that's 2. Okie dokie. Third one is by Adam Weymouth. This is Lone Wolf, Walking the Fault Lines of Europe. So just looking at the brief synopsis at the start. So this looks like a look at the reintroduction of wolves into Europe. So in 2011, a young wolf named Slovak set out from Slovenia, arriving 4 months later on a Lesian plateau north of Verona. There has been no wolves in northern Italy for a century, but here he crossed paths with a female wolf on a walkabout of her own. So this is a wolves finding their own niche again in northern Italy, and it's a history of wolves in Europe, and then the author following the track that Slovak, I believe how you pronounce it, took from where he went to north of Verona. Okie dokie. So it's not pulling me on as the other 2 books did, but this does sound interesting, to be honest with you. Yeah, so following the path of the lone wolf, it's kind of a Native American thing now, isn't it? Yeah, so sounds interesting. Got another thumbs up from me. That's Lone Wolf by Adam Weymouth. A book for... Oh, it's another history of Britain. Oh, I've had enough of these. I've read a lot of them. So this is Tom McTague. I believe, either one. This is Between the Waves, the hidden history of a very British Revolution, 1945 to 2016. And the words that are coming up straight away to me are Common Market, European Union, and 2016. If those who are not in the UK, 2016 is when we voted to leave the European Union. So this is looking at, I think, how after the war, Western Europe started to become more closely tied together, and finally emerged into the common market in 73, which we joined, and then it became the European Union, and then obviously we left the European Union. So this is looking at the history of that, the politics behind it. So it's a riveting story of the clashing ideals that has pulled at Britain's public imagination for more than 7 decades. Between the Waves rises the most elemental questions: who are we as a nation? That's how I'm feeling with that at the moment. I've read a lot of British history over the past year, so it's not really pulling at me. And I can't be bothered reading about European Union. I'll be depressed. Yeah, so that one's not pulling me in, but who knows? I could be wrong. So that is Between the Waves, a history of Britain and its involvement in the European Union, looks like. Okie dokie, I can't remember what book we're on now, you know what I'm like. So the next one is, oh, hang on, the book title's all over the place here. This is Captives and Companions by Justin Morazzi. Oh, I don't know. A history of slavery and the slave trade in the Islamic world. That's it. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a deep one, isn't it? Then lots of Islamic slavery, there were guards and soldiers and stuff like that, wasn't it? Yeah. So this is looking at the history of slavery in the Islamic world. So Justin Morazzo traces the extraordinary variety of enslavement in the Islamic world, which range from agricultural labour and domestic toil to elite concubinage, guardianship of sacred places, political leadership, and even military command. Maybe it might not be as depressing as I first made out of it. I'm still like that with it because, again, it's not a cheery subject, is it? But, yeah, so that's a history of slavery in the Islamic world. Kind of met with it, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, again, it's a bit of history that I know very little about, so maybe that's a Brucey bonus. And do you know what? I'm talking myself into going like that. No, I think it's going to be that. Because I think it does sound interesting. Yeah, and because I know very little of it, it's going to be a thumbs up. It's because I'm thinking of the British history one, and I'm like, oh, I really can't be bothered. This, I can't be bothered to learn about it, so stop being a snob out. So it's a history of slavery in the Islamic world. Next one. Things in Nature Merely Grow by Yuan Li. Hope I've said your name right. Oh, this looks like it's going to be a pressing, maybe a grief-stricken book. So, first paragraph reads, "There is no good way to state these facts, which must be acknowledged. My husband and I had 2 children and lost them both. Vincent in 2017 and 16 James in 2004 at 19. Oh, sorry, no. My husband and I had 2 children, lost them both. Vincent in 2017 at 16 and James in 2024 at 19. Oh, both chose suicide and both died not far from home. Oh, it's going to be a grief one, isn't it? So I think this is the author it's kind of a memoir, kind of how you get over this kind of grief, or how she's coping to get over this grief. Oh, that sounds. Here's my dog's going to bark. Shut up. So, yeah, this is going to be very, very. Do you know what though? It probably will be a good read. So I'm going to go like that right now. But it's going to be one of those memoirs that you got to be, in the mood to read, because I think it's going to be sad. So yeah, that's about the author's how she's dealing with grief, by the sound of it. So that is Things in Nature Merely Grow by Yuan Li. Next one. Okay. Well, this one says it by itself. Just John and Paul. Dexter, stop it. A love story in song. So this is obviously John Lennon and Paul McCartney, 2 members of the Beatles, by Ian Leslie. So this is a kind of biography, bit of history of the Beatles and how Paul McCartney and John Lennon worked with each other. So Ian Leslie traces the twists and turns of their relationship through the music it produced and offers rich insights into the nature of their creativity, collaboration and human connection. So yeah, it's a history biography of their relationship. As we know, it was turbulent at times, well, the majority of the time. But let's face it, they come out with some belters. I mean, you can't walk around Merseyside without seeing the Beatles everywhere. So, yeah, one of my favourite books that I read from the Baillie Gifford, maybe my favourite book that I've read from the Baillie Gifford was 1, 2, 3, 4, A History of the Beatles. So, hopefully this will be on this level. So, a history biography of Paul and John. Thumbs up from me. Okay, this one smells like a World War II one. So this is Adam Libor. This is The Last Days of Budapest. Well, it is definitely World War II. So it says Spies, Nazis, Rescuers and Resistance, 1940 to 1945. So this is looking at the city of Budapest and how it's kind of fought back against the Nazis. But hang on. 4 years into the war, Hungary was allied with Nazi Germany, and the Hungarian capital is the Casablanca of Central Europe. The city swirls in intrigue and betrayal, home to spies and agents of every kind, but Budapest remains at peace, an oasis in the midst of war, where Allied prisoners of war and Polish and Jewish refugees find sanctuary. But I think that was at the start of the war, but I think as the years went, 41, 42, as went by, I think the Nazis started to put the foot down on many of their so-called allied nations. Like they took over Vichy France, didn't they, and northern Italy. So I think they put the foot down also on Budapest. So this is about the characters who probably fought back against that. So extracting information from diaries, archival material and interviews with some of the last survivors of the war, Adam Libor brilliantly recreates life and death in this wartime city, the catastrophic fate of half of its Jewish population and the destruction of the siege. So yeah, so it's told through the eyes of a multitude of vivid, gripping characters, including glamorous aristocrats, spies, smugglers, and SS officers. So it's the whole shebang, you know. It's Budapest between 1940 and 1945, and how fascism started to really, really come down on the city after all the years. Right up my street. That sounds cool. So that's got mostly thumbs up. I've only got one meh, haven't I? So I've got 4 more after this. So that was The Last Days of Budapest by Adam Libor. Thumbs up. Oh, okay. This one looks interesting. So this is Richard Holmes, The Boundless Deep, Young Tennyson, Science and the Crisis of Belief. So I've heard of Tennyson before. He was more of a philosophical scientist. So Lord Tennyson rose to eminence as rapid revolutionary discoveries were being made in the fields of biology, astronomy, geology, and marine science. So this is a biography of him. So yeah, we witness him wrestling with mind-altering ideas about geology and deep time and the vastness of and beauty and terror of new cosmology and the challenges of the social revolution. This is probably one of my top 3 then. So this is the biography of Tennyson and how he wrote about science and how he thought about it and how it was impacting society around him at the time. Excellent. It's right up my street, this. So this is definitely up there on my to-do list straight away. And I'm looking at, I can't do it straight away because it's not released until the 19th of September. Oh, by the way, I usually read all the long list before the short list gets announced. The long list gets announced on the 4th of September. And the short list is the 3rd or 4th. Oh, no, it's the 2nd of October. It's either the 2nd or the 3rd of October. So it's very, very, very tight timeline for me to do it. And so that I won't get to this book for about 2 weeks. So I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. So that's definitely a thumbs up from me. That sounds like it's right up my street. And that is The Boundless Deep by Richard Holmes. Helen Garner. Helen Garner is a author. Did she do The Monkey Grip or something like that? So this is How to End a Story. her collected diaries by Helen Garner. So yeah, this is her diary. So I mean, from Garner, like never before, as a fledgling author in Bohemian Melbourne, publishing her lightning rod debut novel, while raising a young daughter in the 70s, in the throes of an all-consuming love affair in the 80s, and clinging to a disintegrating marriage in the 1990s. So yeah, this sounds told with devastatingly honest, steel-sharp wit and attention to details of everyday life. It offers all the satisfactions, why can't I say that word, of a novel, alongside the enthralling intimacy of something written in private and just for pleasure. And apparently she's very witty and funny as well. I've never read any of Helen Garner books before. Do you know what? It's a thumbs up for me. It's 800 something pages. Oh yeah, because it's a collected diaries, I guess. That 800 pages kind of put me off. It's gone down a level only because of the length. Yeah, so this is a kind of an autobiography diary release of the author Helen Garner, and only because of its length has it gone down. Otherwise, it would have been a thumbs up. The second to last is by Barbara Demick. This is Daughters of the Bamboo Grove, China's Stolen Children and a Story of Separated Twins. We can see the way this is going. China's got a one-child policy, I think, hasn't it? So obviously the twins were separated at birth or at childhood, and one child was lost and was later adopted by someone in America. So it's kind of looking at the twins in that kind of retrospective then, isn't it, of how life in the States and how life in China can be compared between the two. Yeah, so this is, yes, while working as a correspondent in Beijing, the author uncovered this. Was their daughter had been snatched from a beloved family, and so the Americans who adopted the twin thought she was an orphan, but she wasn't. She was actually loved, and the child was stolen from the family. Oh, that's rough, that, isn't it? Painting a rich portrait of China's history and culture, it asks questions about the roots, impact and consequences of China's one-child policy, the ethics of international adoption, and ultimately the assumptions and narrative we hold about the quality of lives lived in the East and the West. Yeah, so thumbs up for me. That sounds like it's up my street completely. And that is Daughter of the Bamboo Grove by Barbara Demick. That's up there, top five. That sounds like a really interesting read. And the last one is by Jason Burke. This is The Revolutionists, the story of extremists who hijacked the 1970s. So, yeah. Yeah, so this is looking at extremists through the 1970s and how they attack on the Munich Olympics, Israel raiding on Entebbe, is that how you pronounce it? The Iranian Revolution and the rise of Islamic extremism. So yes, it's drawn on decades of research, recently declassified government files, secret documents, and original interviews with hijackers, spies, witnesses, and victims. It takes us into the lives and minds of the people who did it, of these often deadly operations. So it is looking at the history of these terrorists, quote unquote, throughout the 1970s, and the authors managed to actually interview them as well. That was kind of cool. And spies. I've just seen it as well. I said to you before, the shortlist gets announced on the 2nd of October. This releases on the 2nd of October. Oh, that's wrangled me. Oh. So I won't be able to, if the shortlist gets announced on the 2nd of October, I'm obviously not going to be able to read that before the shortlist gets announced. And to be honest with you, it's not really pulling me in, to be honest with you. Yeah, some people like reading about terrorism and all that kind of stuff, but not for me. So there you go, folks. That's the 12 books from the Baillie Gifford long list of 2025. I think that the majority of that is actually really positive, and I will be reading every single one of them starting tomorrow, and I'll report back. I'll probably do I'll do a brief review of each, and then after I've read all of them, after this bloody 2nd of October book gets released, I'll do a ranking of. I'm not going to rank like A, B, C. You see those videos? This is an A, this is a B. I'm not going to be doing that because it's a bit silly. I'll just be doing what I thought thumbs up, meh, or whatever I thought it was crap. So that's it. I will see you soon. Booktube. Goodbye.